Tell me that I won't die at the hands of the police. Promise me I won't outlive my nephew and my niece. Promise me my pastor isn't lying as he preach. Tell me that they'll listen if it's lessons that I teach. Tell me there's a heaven in the sky where there is peace. But until then I keep my peace in arm's reach. Am I passing to the light? All the world is out of your hands. Another night, you got to die a little. If you want to live, change coming. Hey, you best be ready for it.
Something out the country fair is about to change its form. Yeah, it's a shift in times, but I won't get tired at all.
Am I passing to the light?
When I'm looking into mercy's eye.
All the world is out of your hands. Another night, you got to die, little. If you want to live, change, oh, change is coming. You best be ready, 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 ready. Be ready. Ready for it. Be ready. Be ready. Ooh.
That just can't be dismissed. It's Kamaya. Please retire. Girl, set the city on fire. I've been broke all my life. Now I wonder, how does it feel to be rich? How does it feel to be rich? Oh, I done worked all my life. Now I wonder.
Let's start creating your look. If you haven't already done, let's complete your player info. Your background sets the stage for who you are, both on and off the court.
They speak, then they hate on the low. If hate's all you know, your face gotta go. I aim for a change, you stagnant the same every day, all day. Youngest swing in my chain. Till I can't start the waves that you take. Swag in our name, but you can't be the game. Foreign whist when we swing, BMG do our thing. It's Kamaya. Please retire. Girl, set the city on fire. I've been broke all my life. Now I wonder, how does it feel to be rich? How does it feel to be rich? Oh, I done worked all my life. Now I wonder, how does it feel to just live? How does it feel to just live? Oh, how does it feel to be rich? How does it feel to be rich? How does it feel to just live? How does it feel to just live?
Your hairstyle says a lot about your look. Let's choose yours.
I come to get down. Everybody get up. Yeah, don't fight, find when the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough. That's why I say get up. Why you sitting? Get up.
Beard, scruff, or clean shaven, your path to facial hair greatness starts here.
Yeah, what
what your mama gave you. You got to act right, I should nominate you. You know you a star, keep it shining, baby.
Let's start creating your look. If you haven't, now it's time to decide what kind of player you want to be. First, let's choose your player type: guard, wing, or big. Now, let's define your style of play. Now, it's time to choose your player's height and weight. Every choice you make here will affect your player's physical capabilities, both good and bad. So choose wisely before you lock in.
I come to get down. Everybody get up. Yeah, don't fight, fine, win the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough. That's why I say get up. Why you sitting? Get up. Yeah, don't fight, fine, win the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough.
Yeah, you like Beyonce. Girl, you know you dance a pound cake. When you move it all around, babe. Up and down like a sound wave. Preach, church on the move. Two-step into your feet, hurting them shoes. Dance away the pain, they ain't hurting your groove. He a baller, but he ain't James worthy of you. I ain't judging, baby. You know I'ma love you. Daddy say you're good for me, and my mama love you. Yeah, they hating on you. That's so common of them. Make it hot for me, fresh about the oven. But you turn me to new of me. I know you wish you had two of me. Low key, baby. Whoop the whoop, super freak. I come to get down.
Everybody get up. Yeah, don't fight, fine, win the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough. That's why I say get up. Why you sitting? Get up. Yeah, don't fight, fine, win the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough.
Either love him or leave him. Let loose, I don't think I believe you. Make it hot, you got me running the fever. Kick game like I'm a product of FIFA. Play on, player, spray on cologne, baby, I'm on the way up. It's hard to break up, cause I'm ballin', you call. I'm on my way up to get down.
Everybody get up. Yeah, don't fight, fine, win the issue. Do it to you. Get you enough. That's why I say get up.
Like millions of other kids, you dreamed of one day being in the NBA. You wanted to be a star, and someday to rise above and become the greatest to ever play. You dreamed of being the one. But the road to stardom is never easy. There are obstacles, injuries, and disappointments. Adversity is universal. It can happen to anyone at any time. And one day, it happened to you. You went from being a guaranteed lottery pick to a kid who may never even play college ball again.
Now, look, it's always bad to hear about injuries, especially to college kids, of course.
Yeah.
But Stephen A. Smith, this one is particularly disheartening because we are 2 weeks into the season and one of the top NBA prospects in the country goes down potentially with a season-ending injury, a knee injury. That's a killer.
I couldn't agree more. When I heard he was carried off the floor today, all you can do is find yourself hoping that he'll make it back. That's the bottom line. But my heart goes out to him because I didn't expect this. This is a devastating injury. It's never good to have something like this happen to you.
The team doctor broke the news. Torn ACL, sprained MCL, and a torn meniscus. Surgery was scheduled, but your game will likely never be the same. At the 2016 NBA draft, your name is still mentioned. Not as a prospect, but as a cautionary tale.
Now, there's another huge story in this year's draft. A record number of underclassmen, 30 of them, undrafted. And I hope, anyway, that this is a lesson, this serves as an example to college players. I'm not talking about the ones who are genuinely one and dones, the guys you know are going to be lottery picks. I mean the rest of them. They're not sure shots. You're not sure they're going to be lottery picks. don't just use the college system for a year thinking you're going to bounce. It doesn't work like that. If you don't have the talent, it doesn't work. You got to be cultivated in the system.
Please. There you go again with your blanket generalizations. You know how you are, oh, Max. The woe is me. Oh, my Lord. I can't take it. I just can't take it. It's a case-by-case basis. You can't just blanketly decide this should not be one and dones or this should be one and dones. You got to go on a case-by-case basis. Some dudes deserve to be one and dones. Some people don't. It's on a case-by-case basis.
And that is my point. Thank you for making it for me. Every kid thinks they're the exception to the rule. And members of the media like, Stephen A. Smith, are encouraging these kids to come out early.
Look, Max, bottom line is this. You got to take this into consideration. You had two dudes. They were called the Height brothers. Now, you had Nick Howard. This kid had a lot of promise. What does he do? He goes to college. Very uneventful first year, no doubt. The second year, he was pretty good. Here's the problem. The NBA, it's not about pretty good. You need to be great on the collegiate level, on the prep level, in summer leagues and what have you, in order for you to get the stature that you deserve. That's the bottom line. You're pretty good ain't good enough to be that stud NBA.
That's exactly my point.
Let me finish. There's another example. I did say the Height brothers. I wasn't talking about one individual. I was talking about two. What happens? One and done in a different way. 1 year, one ACL injury later, and look where he's at now. His future is clearly uncertain. So you got to take advantage of that opportunity because you never know when an injury is going to cost you everything.
Stephen A., listen to yourself. Let's listen to yourself for a second. You give one argument for why a kid should come out early, a one-and-done situation. I can give you 30 arguments this morning alone why they should stay in school. And now you have to wonder what a kid like Nick Howard, who has given up his college eligibility, does next. What does he do next?
First of all, don't sweat the technique. The argument, or one argument, as long as it's strong enough, that's all that matters. That's number one. Number two, the Height brothers was something special. What they really, really need to do. I'm going to tell you what they need to do, Max. They need to get back to playing together. My sources are telling me the ACL injury has been completely healed. So go on a pro-am circuit. Go in summer leagues. Do what you got to do to get back on the court together to remind everybody of what you once were. Because once you pull that off, the sky's the limit. That's what they need to do. Get back to playing ball together, because when people see what you can do as one, the other arguments don't really matter. Like I said, don't sweat the technique.
This is New York City, the mecca of basketball. The original Rucker League began here in 1947. 9 years later, the tournament found a permanent home uptown at PS 156 Playground. Those early Rucker days showcased talents like Lou Alcindor, Wilt the Stilt, and Earl the Pearl. It's also where Julius Erving became the Doctor. In 1974, the park was respectfully renamed Holcomb Rucker Park in honor of the tournament founder. Now, many have influenced the growth of the Rucker since, but none more heavily than the late great Greg Marius, founder of the EBC. Many would argue that the Ruck is the birthplace of true street ball and the crossover dribble. Considering New York City's penchant for flashy guard play, there are few who can challenge that. After the legendary exploits of Rucker alumni like Rod Strickland, Rafer Alston, and Kyrie Irving, it goes without saying that getting crossed up or banged on can happen to anybody at any given moment here. It's no wonder that this unassuming uptown playground has become the most widely recognized street ball court in the world. Rucker Park, Harlem.
got ball. Hey, watch this screen left.
Hey, brother, watch the shot.